Hello and welcome to another episode of the Yemmy Cast, a video game podcast. That's right, we are back and we are ready for another week of news. What's coming up in this episode? Oh, we got the ukulele, we got the Outer Worlds and Modern Warfare and the Fallout 76. But that's all later. Right now, I just want to thank you for coming to this episode of Yemmy Cast, a video game podcast hosted by me, Yemmy the Ferret. If you're here for the premiere of this episode on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, thank you so much on YouTube. If you listen to the podcast on any other location, thank you so much as well. Like I said in the past few episodes, pretty sure we're going to be switching platforms soon, so the podcast may come down and come back up, but that is going to be in the future, and I will do a solo exclusive podcast for you people, just in case that happens. I'll definitely be giving you a little bit of time to prepare. What do you have to prepare for? Re-following. Also, episode of the podcast should be coming out this Sunday as well, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time as well. I believe me and Greedy Waffle, aka Nick, are going to be counting down we're not counting down, but doing a top tier list for the Call of Duty games. Everything from Call of Duty Ghosts all the way to Call of Duty, the OG Call of Duty 1. So hopefully that'll be done by this weekend. If not, that might be a next weekend thing, but I will keep y'all in the loop. Anyways, let's start today with the news. And that is right, if you haven't read the title already, I'm going to be issuing an apology to Playtonic Games and Team 17. That is right. I gave them a ton of well-deserved criticism for ukulele. I was a backer myself with the Kickstarter campaign, and I did not feel like they used the money wisely with that game. And I've stressed my opinions about it at length multiple times. There's a review on my channel. There's also a podcast episode that has ukulele in the title, which I'm pretty sure I talk about ukulele in depth on that one as well. In short, I just felt like the game was uninspired. The characters didn't match up. You know, it wasn't like Banjo-Kazooie where everything was kind of like similar in ways, and this one just seemed like everything was kind of random, pieced throughout the levels. My biggest example was the like 4 or 5 different shopping carts in a Halloween themed level, which didn't mesh with me very well. I felt like the open world was boring. I felt like the game just didn't connect with me and a lot of people. And I do have to issue an apology to Playtonic because they have taken all of the criticism and they've completely revamped the ukulele brand with ukulele and the Impossible Lair. I bought this game on a whim. I said, you know what? People are talking good about it. It's a little overpriced in my opinion for a game, but it has a lot of content, has a lot of stuff to do, a lot of levels, a lot of things to collect. And it's a fantastic game. I've been addicted to it for the past week now. It is actually rising to be one of my most played games this year because I'm just wanting to collect everything. I'm having so much fun with it. I'm feeling that same magic that I felt with Banjo-Kazooie or Donkey Kong 64. Even though it's a different style, it's not a 3D open world. It's a 2D, kind of like a top-down kind of platformer. The open world is a top down, and then the levels are more of a 2D platformer, and the ideas and the things they use and do in this game they remind me so much of the old days. And this is the rare revival that we deserved. This is the one, probably not deserved, but we wanted something like this. I know it's not a 3D platform, and yes, I love 3D platformers. I would swoon at this prospect of a Donkey Kong 64 remake on the Nintendo Switch. But this is better than anything that I could have imagined this company coming out with next. Playtonic Games has definitely swayed my opinion on them because this game is quality. Everything has They had an idea for this game, I think. Everything has a place in the world, and the levels are so fantastically designed. And if you haven't played them, the developers put out some Mario Maker levels that are actually really good, and some of them actually reminisce the ones that they have in this game. One of the coolest things about this game is you can change the levels. So there's the regular base level, the first one that you usually play. and then you can do something to change the level. So the first example I'll give you is one of the first levels you can do that to. So there's a book that's open in the dirt, and it's like, or not really in the dirt, it's like in a little pool of water. And you go into it, and it's more of an underwater level. You kind of go through things and blah, blah, blah. Well, switch that around. You can actually fire like a frozen fruit, I guess they are, at the water, and it will turn the level into an ice world now. So even though the level has the same concept to it, it's something a little bit different, and that makes all the difference. It's a completely new level. There's one that's a better example where there's fountains that are spraying up and down throughout the whole level and stuff like that. And when you can change it to have another frozen type level. So what happens is the water fountains are frozen, the floor is slippery, stuff like that. You go different directions than you would before. It's actually fantastic, and I can't believe how much fun that I'm having with this game. It's a little bit challenging. It's a little, at times you can get stuck on a part for a few tries, and the little camera drone thing will be like, hey, we heard you're having trouble, and I told the developers that this level is going to be too hard, so let me skip this for you. And I feel like that's a good addition for kids who don't exactly have the skills to get through these levels as like someone like a seasoned player like me has. But I have been struggling a little bit with this game, just getting through some of these levels, especially the alternate levels. Those ones can get really exciting. It's exciting. I'm tingling with joy because I'm loving this game so much, and I love talking about it, which is quite contrary to the original Yooka-Laylee game, which was a 3D platformer that fell on its face. The ideas in this game are really, really good. The open world areas have some really well thought out puzzles to them. I just got through one that was all a bunch of swinging platforms, and you kind of swing the platforms and get to all these things. It was fantastic. Just to get the alternate version of the level open, I did all that, and I was like, this feels like an accomplishment now. I did something. The game does like to... It does have a little bit of an emulation of like Link's Awakening, where the world's pretty cartoony. Your character's kind of there. It's always in the center of the screen, and not really in the center, but the screen's centered on one area, and you kind of go through it, and then it shifts to the next one. It's very smooth. There's no lag or drops in frame rate or anything like that, which I really appreciate in a modern era of video games. And everything just kind of goes very smoothly. The use of the blackout into the fade in actually works a lot better than the other game. The other game, I feel like in the original Yooka-Laylee, there were so many areas where you would go to would be this big area, and then just to go through like a small hole in the wall, it's completely black, of course. You would go through that hole and you would get to a new area, and it's like, I don't know, I feel like it could all kind of flow together a little bit better. But this game does it a lot better in ways that you're going through these doorways and it's actually like a cave or a house or something like that. That's why it loads in a new area. Whereas the open world is just an open world. You don't have to load into anything really. It's all just there laid out for you. Now, I still have my problems with some of the characters. Some of the characters, like the giant fridge character, I don't like that character. Just feels so out of place. But everyone else has kind of found their place in the game. The cannon with his little bird, the bird acts as more of a tutorial bird now, and the cannon just kind of sits around and complains. And then you got, the king bee. What's his name? Sir Buzzitnon. you had the bee, the bee guy. What's his name? I don't remember what his name is right now. I'll probably remember halfway through this, but he actually feels like a villain now, and he actually has an impact on the game a little bit more than the other ones. And then the new like queen bee or whatever she is, I don't really like the way her voice sounds, but it's all good. I don't care that much about it because I do like the character design and what they did with the story. How the evil bee is trying to take over the kingdom, and you have to go through the impossible lair. Well, that's the name of the game, in order to get to the end of the game and defeat him. Now, you can choose to do the impossible lair from the get-go. There's no bars holding you back from doing that level without any help from the bee swarm that gives you invincibility pretty much. And the goal of the game is to go to each of these worlds, rescue all these bees that give you a shield, so that the end level is that much easier to get through. Now, I have probably about, I think I just got the trophy for 16 bees unlocked, and I feel like that's a good number, and I feel like I could try the impossible lair now, but I really do want to get all the levels done before doing that, just so I can get the full experience. I don't want to rush things too much. Like I said before, this is a collectathon type of game. It has a lot of collectibles. You collect feathers to buy things with, you collect twit coins to open up the paywall gates, and you collect tonics in order to change things throughout the game. And they have a feather multiplier, which, if you put on tonics that make the game easier, you get less feathers. If you put on tonics that make the game harder, you get more feathers. And it just works so well, and it's such a refreshing thing. It feels retro, but it's modern, And I feel like these characters are meshing so well together. I feel like I'm really enjoying Yooka-Laylee now more than ever. If they had put this game out before the 3D platformer, and they spent a little bit more time on that 3D platform and put this game out with their ideas in it, I feel like it could have been. That would have, of course, their development studio might have risen to greater heights faster than if they released the 3D, the 3D 1 second. So, all in all, like I said, really enjoying the Impossible Lair, and I do have to apologize to Playtonic because I've given them a lot of shit. I've given a lot of critique. It's past the 10-minute mark, so YouTube doesn't care about swearing. But I have given them a lot of criticism, and yeah, I would say it's well deserved. But I feel like they've redeemed themselves tenfold with this, and I would like to apologize for criticizing the Impossible Lair so much before it came out. I wasn't telling people not to buy it. I was just making comments that I would constantly bring up the bad things about Yooka-Laylee, and I would kind of force them onto this game even though I had not played it yet. So I would like to say that if anyone from Team 17 or Playtonic is listening to this podcast, I would like to say, really enjoying the new game. Please continue going forward with stuff like this, and I will be a happy ferret. And I do hope the best for them. And I really would like to see them do more games like this that are successes rather than failures. I don't want to see a company fail, and I do think in my mind that they failed with the original Yooka-Laylee game. They put too much expectation on it. And I feel like with this game, there really wasn't any expectations going in. All they revealed that it was going to be a different style from Yooka-Laylee, and they were going to continue with the Yooka-Laylee brand and go from there. And I think it has worked out really, really well for them. I have hardly any criticism of this game. The only thing that I would criticize is Laylee sounds like a monkey at times. There's times where she sounds like a monkey, so maybe change up the voice a little bit, but it's not something so horrendous that I'm like, oh, 0 out of 10, goodbye. So, Playtonic Games, from the bottom of my ferrety heart, I apologize, and keep doing what you do. Thank you. So let's move on to the official first news of today, which is, hey, the Yooka-Laylee developer, Playtonic, is open to making a Mario Kart-like racer or Splatoon-like shooter in the future. So, as I said, Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is available now. It came out on the 8th of October. It's about $30. So if you want to wait for a sale, I understand. It's a little bit pricey for a game, especially one from more of an indie developer, but I think it's worth it. I think it is worth it. Maybe $5 less would be perfect. I'm not sure. You do your own judgment on that, okay? But anyways, what's next for the studio was asked in a interview with 3D Juegos, which is a Spanish media outlet. Playtonic's Mark Stevenson and Steve Males said that they could work on any kind of game, such as the racer like Mario Kart or a shooter like Splatoon. And here's the full quote. I think we'll keep working on Yooka-Laylee in the future. Really, we could work on any kind of game, a racing game like Mario Kart or a shooter like Splatoon. We've never intended Yuka and Laylee to be the protagonist of all our games. On the future, we could make a spin-off with one of the many characters from Yooka-Laylee, like Dr. Quack or Dr. Puzz. Being independent lets us follow whatever way we want and the one we think is right. So yeah, Dr. Quack, I haven't seen him in the Impossible Lair yet. Maybe he'll be coming around. Dr. Puzz has been in it, of course, and she's like the octopus lady. And it's a little bit more lore is revealed when you talk to her in this game. I don't want to spoil anything, of course. A Mario Kart racer would be kind of cool. You just gotta kind of steer away from the garbage type Mario Kart racer, where it's like Garfield Kart or something like that. You gotta make it something unique. You gotta make it something all your own. Don't go the route of like an official like Mario Kart ripoff, because then that's all people will be saying to you. I'd like to see a Trials Evolution ukulele type game where you use the minecart dude and you do tricks on the minecart. Just a full game of minecart. Not Minecraft, minecart. Take that and run with it, Playtonic. I'm giving that to you for free. As for a shooter like Splatoon, I don't know about a shooter with these kind of characters. I know Splatoon is kind of a more kiddie, kid-friendly type shooter, and it could possibly work. I could see them doing something with like battle tanks or something like that. Have like a little like a remote-controlled tank, and you choose your character, and your character gets special abilities for their little tanks, and you have like 3 tanks or something like that. Or maybe it's more of like an RTS or something like that. I don't know about like an official like third person or first person shooter with ukulele. I don't enjoy the first person perspective parts from like Banjo-Tooie, so I don't think I would like the third person or first person shooter with the ukulele brand. But hey, I'm open to anything at this point, especially after the success that is the Impossible Lair. As stated in this article, kart racers are everywhere at the moment, from phone games to rip-off games, like I said, to official games. You can't really escape them, so maybe that wouldn't be the route that they want to go, but hey, use my ideas if you want to, if they're palatable. I mean, I'm not going to tell you to use them and if they're shitty. Like, if you want to use them, use them. I'm just here to give you the news, and that's the news today for Playtonic Games. What do you guys want to see next in the ukulele series? If you played both the games, let me know how you felt about both of them. And also let me know what you think should be next. They've definitely been stylizing them more towards like a Donkey Kong Country type theme with the Impossible Lair. So maybe they're going to switch themes for the next one once again. Instead of being a 3D platformer or a 2D, Donkey Kong Country type game, it'll be something completely different. But we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so Reggie Fils-Amie is doing his Leaders in Residence lecture at Cornell University, and a little bit of information has come out about what he's said. There's 2 articles here detailing 2 major points that he made during his lectures. Now, if you didn't know, he's at the Cornell University to give an hour-long presentation on his principles for the next generation of leaders. And although Reggie has held various positions, including head of Pizza Hut and Procter & Gamble, his biggest thing was being CEO of Nintendo of America. So during his lecture, he brought up that Satoru Iwata initially didn't want to ship Wii Sports bundled with the Wii in the US. Reggie actually had to persuade him to do that. If you didn't know, Wii Sports was not packed in with the title with the Japan packs. And who knows if this actually helped the sales or diminished the sales in America, but you can't say Wii without thinking sports after it. And even my parents, my grandparents, they all loved Wii Sports Bowling. They didn't really play the other games, of course, but Wii Sports Bowling was the one that everyone really, really, really enjoyed. And it's obviously one of the best-selling titles ever, and mostly because it was bundled in with the Wii, of course, we all know that, but it's definitely left an impact on the gaming world. So, as revealed in the lectures, like I said, Iwata didn't think that packing the software with the console was the best approach, but of course, it turned out to be the best approach. Also, Reggie said that the Wii U was a failure forward because it led to the Switch console. The Wii U gets a lot of shit. A lot of well-deserved shit. It does have some good titles on it that have all pretty much been ported over to the Switch now. But the system was aimed to introduce the concept of asymmetrical gameplay to a whole new generation of players. But of course, consumers did not respond well to it, and it has gone down as one of Nintendo's most costly hardware flops, despite playing a host of some stunning games. So, Reggie the entire lecture is not available yet. The university has said that it's going to come to their YouTube channel in the future, but right now all we have is little snippets from Reddit users and stuff like that who actually went to the lecture themselves. So Reggie actually admitted that the Wii U was a bust, but he called it a failure forward since it led directly to the creation of the Switch, which, as you know, the Switch is not a failure. It just has some hardware issues, but all in all, it's a good selling, decent console. And there you go. And there you go. Hopefully the video footage of his lecture come out soon so I can talk about him, because I'm really interested to hear what he has to say about all of it. Alright, so Darksiders Genesis is going to be the next game in the Darksiders series, and it's going to be releasing on the Switch, Xbox, and PS4 on Valentine's Day next year, and the Google Stadia is going to be getting it earlier this year. That is right. THQ Nordic has confirmed that Darksiders Genesis will arrive on all consoles on February 14th, 2020, and you'll be getting it early on PC and Stadia on December 5th, 2019. This isn't, surprising that PC release is going to come first, but it is surprising that Stadia is going to be coming first. So this is going to be the fourth and final horseman in this game, based around this game, Strife, who kind of looks like McCree to me. He's going to team up with War, who is the star of the first game in the series, and players can switch between the two during the game's solo campaign, or two people can join in for co-op action. Now, to be honest with you guys, the cinematic trailer was looking pretty awesome. And then you go from this cinematic trailer that's highly detailed and well done to a twin-stick shooter. A literal twin-stick shooter. It does not look very good, but of course it's the early stages, and I would like to see more footage of the gameplay, but right now it just looks like a basic twin-stick shooter that you could probably play on your phone or anything like that. Maybe that's why it's coming to Stadia first. It's just so easy to play on your phone and your streaming services. But, hey, we'll see. When more information comes out, of course, I'll talk about it. Hopefully there's going to be a better gameplay, scenario, gameplay trailer to come out. I really think they dropped the ball with having such a cinematic trailer and such a good trailer that's just squandered by the actual in-game graphics and the type of game it is. But, have I learned my lesson yet? No. At least Zombieland 2 is the video game is getting bad reviews. That's all I ever asked for. All right, so Risk of Rain 2, which was a surprise release on the Switch earlier. What was it, last month? Is going to be getting gyroscopic aiming on the Switch version with the update coming in December, or maybe not December, but it's coming this month. This month. So, later this month, the first major patch for Risk of Rain 2 will come to the console versions, which includes bug fixes, performance updates, and a few quality of life updates. Switch players will also receive support for gyroscopic aiming, which is aiming with the controller itself, which is pretty cool. The patch has been apparently sent to certification, which was a few weeks ago, so it's expected to go live before the end of October, and this will bump the game up to version 1.0.2. And then the patch for December is going to be including the Skills 2.0 content update, which will also come with the patch that came shortly after it was released on PC, addressing regen and bugs. This patch is currently in progress and planned to show up mid-December. Each season until one final update in summer 2020, players can enjoy new and returning survivors, bosses, stages, and more. So I think I already talked about the roadmap for the game. There's going to be new survivors, new bosses, new items, new equipment, new artifacts 2.0, skills 2.0, and much, 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 much more. So we'll see how it goes in the future. Alright, so coming off of the claims that video game addiction is a mental illness, new studies say that external issues are more likely to blame for gaming addiction, not gaming itself. So, a new research study conducted by Oxford University has found insignificant evidence to suggest that gaming should be classified as a clinical disorder. It notes that gamers who are heavily affected by the problem are likely to be suffering from a wider, unrelated issue. The study comes as a direct response to the World Health Organization's discussion to classify gaming addiction as a mental health condition. Rather than describing gaming as an addiction in its own right, the study suggests that those engaged in dysfunctional gaming are likely to have underlying frustrations and wider psychological functioning issues outside of the games, with gaming actually acting as a relief from these external issues in some cases. Professor Andrew Przybylski, Director of Research at the Oxford Internet Institute and co-author of the study, has shared the following, and he's quoted as saying, "The World Health Organization and the American Psychiatric Association have called on researchers to investigate the clinical relevance of dysregulated video gaming among adolescents, as previous studies have failed to examine the wider context of what is going on in these young people's lives. This is something we seek to address with our new study. For the first time, we apply motivational theory and open science principles to investigate if psychological needs, satisfactions, and frustrations in adolescents' daily lives are linked to dysregulated or obsessive gaming engagement." Lots of big words. He must be a doctor. "Our findings provided no evidence suggesting an unhealthy relationship with gaming accounts for substantial emotional, peer, and behavioral problems. Instead, variations in gaming experience are much more likely to be linked to whether adolescents' basic psychological needs for competence, autonomy, and social belonging are being met, and if they are already experiencing wider functioning issues. In light of our findings, we do not believe sufficient evidence exists to warrant thinking about gaming as a clinical disorder in its own right." Dr. Neda Weinstein, senior lecturer at the University of Cardiff School of Psychology and co-author of the report, said, "We urge healthcare professionals to look more closely at the underlying factors such as psychological satisfactions and everyday frustrations to understand why a minority of players feel like they must engage in gaming in an excessive way." Earlier this month, it was revealed that UK doctors will be able to refer young patients to be treated for video game addiction. And now it seems like we're getting more and more information on how it is not linked. But, I mean, it is still sort of linked, and I'm not trying to defend the notion of gaming addiction being a mental illness. It is sort of linked, but as stated in this professor's own words, it's more of an outlet for their frustrations rather than the frustrations coming from the video games, which I totally agree with. So, read into that with however you want to. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll continue on. Alright, so the Switch dating simulator called Summer Sweetheart uses music from Nyan Falcom titles, which are Japanese anime-type titles that come from Japan. There was a game, I guess you could call it, called Summer Sweetheart. And it's a game where you pick up drunk women and attempt to steal their hearts. But it would appear that the creators of this dating simulator have been stealing other things too, namely tunes from other video games. As reported by Go Nintendo, the game lists music from Nyan Falcom titles, despite having nothing to do with the series whatsoever. And here is the evidence below. Someone called Boust528 on Twitter said, "This is from YS Origin." Let's listen. Alright, and here is the YS Origin. Okay, well that's factual evidence. So the company actually came out and went on to Japanese Nintendo and said that Fenguin, who is the publisher for the title, has issued an apology to Nyan Falcom regarding the use of the music in Summer Sweetheart. Apparently they they misinterpreted their free music use declaration, which is intended for non-commercial purposes. The game is still on sale, and it's not being taken down, but maybe they'll update the game in order to take out the music, or maybe they'll get the rights to use the music. Either way, it's interesting. It's weird. I guess that it was a bit of a misunderstanding. I don't think there was any ill intent here. I just think they misunderstood what they meant by free music use declaration. And they ended up using the music, and they used it on the main menus, which I don't know if they would like that, but hey, we'll see what happens in the future. Alright, so Epic Games has improved Fortnite's audio with the new 3D headphones option. So, If you don't know, Fortnite had I think it's called mono audio, which is you pretty much get audio from the right ear to the left ear with nothing up, down, below, or in between, which includes footsteps, gunshots, etc., etc. So now, with the help of the Fortnite competitive community, they have released the new 3D headphones mode in the audio options, which will improve spatialization of tactically important sounds. So, your spatial awareness will be better, in short. So, it's going to be more 3D now, like they say. So, what does it mean? I'll just read this because it's going to tell you better than me. You'll have a better sense of the sounds above, below, and behind you. We recommend stereo headphones for this mode, and the mode will not work if you have the Visualize Sound Effects accessibility option enabled. Jump in and try it out. So this comes along with the update for Fortnite Chapter 2. It seems like they're doing more and more to improve the game and quell people's criticism of it. One of the biggest complaints was the spatial awareness kind of thing, because Apex Legends has it where you can kind of hear everything in a 3D environment. If you close your eyes, you kind of know exactly where they're coming from. Whereas Fortnite and PUBG and stuff like that only have that mono, two-way, each headset kind of does its own thing sort of way. And now they're finally improving it. So if you have better headphones, they'll start working better. Ninja's book on Fortnite now officially has the best information. Blech. Alright, Tetris 99 is teaming up with Luigi's Mansion 3 for the new Maximus Cup event. And you'll get an exclusive theme along with it. If you don't remember, Tetris 99 teamed up with Fire Emblem and Splatoon in events before this. And now the new event will give players a chance to earn an exclusive theme for their game, all while celebrating the upcoming release of Luigi's spooky outing on the Switch. You can see the new theme in action in the video on Nintendo's Twitter account, and also on their YouTube account as well. The event is going to kick off 12 a.m. Pacific time on the 25th of October, and it's going to run until 11:59 PT Pacific time on the 28th. Players must score 100 points during the event to unlock the new Luigi's Mansion theme, which is all goopy. It has the silhouette of the mansion or the hotel in the background in purple, and Luigi and King Boo are on either side of the Tetris board. Pretty cool theme. If you want to, make sure you go and pick it up. Alright, so the free-to-start or free-to-play Switch racer called Asphalt 9 Legends was downloaded 1 million times in the first week. And the developer/publisher, they are ecstatic. So if you don't recall, Asphalt 9 launched earlier this month, and it offered likable Burnout-style action as you play the game. Of course, we're still waiting for a Burnout-type game to be remade, but this will have to do for now. So a lot of people have taken to this title with good reviews, and according to the game's publisher and developer, Gameloft, the mobile racing franchise reached a new milestone by hitting 1 million installs in the first week of availability on the Nintendo Switch. They're quoted as saying, "This is an incredible moment for us. Bringing Asphalt 9 Legends to Nintendo Switch is something we wanted to do for a long time, as we are great fans of the platform. It has been a strong request from our community, and it translates today with 1 million downloads in a week. We put all our craft into this new tailored version of our game to make it really fit this fantastic console. The sheer arcade fun that is Asphalt 9 Legends really shines, especially in local split-screen races with 4 players that the Nintendo Switch made possible." So yeah, once again, Asphalt 9 is a free-to-download type game, so if you haven't already tried it out, you can try it out for free. That's right, for free. I don't believe there's any microtransactions or anything like that in the game, but I haven't played it myself, so don't quote me on that. Alright, so A Hat in Time on the Switch is going to have a bigger file size than any other version of the game, so make sure you make some room for the hat-wearing child. So if you download a copy of A Hat in Time on Nintendo Switch, on Nintendo Switch, I almost was an old man there. Download it on your Nintendo. It was released on the 18th of October, and the file size might surprise a lot of people because it's about 16 gigabytes of space, which is 4 times bigger than the PlayStation 4 version, and it's twice as big as the PC version. And normally when something gets ported over the Switch, the file sizes are significantly smaller, but in this case, it seems like they're pretty pretty freaking big. It's about the same size as a digital copy of Breath of the Wild and nearly 3 times as big as Super Mario Odyssey. It's hard to say what exactly is going on with the file size. We'll see if there's things added to it or not. I have no clue. The new Nakazawa Metro downloadable content is coming soon to this version, so maybe it's already preloaded onto the game. But I don't know. It's a pretty big file size for a game like this, especially since it's bigger than Super Mario Odyssey. It's interesting to see something like this. It's still a great game, and if you haven't picked it up or played it, this is a great time to pick it up and play it on the Switch on the go. So if you want to, make sure you pick it up. I believe it's about $30. If you pick up both Yooka-Laylee and this game, you're going to be spending $60 on 2 games. Pretty good deal, am I right? So the Nintendo Wii U, the long forgotten console, is getting a new game today, which was last week. So a lot of people don't have Wii U's anymore. I am one of them. But there's a new game coming to the Wii U, which was last Thursday, called Space Intervention, which is an action arcade title from VG and IG. The listing on Nintendo's official site has what must be the shortest description of a game I've ever seen. Save our galaxy from the invasion of an alien race. It actually launched on the 3DS last month, but for some reason hasn't come to the Switch, but it appears to be working on the Wii U. It's a ripoff of the classic arcade Space Invaders or Galaxian type game. It just looks like a low-budget version of one of those games. Looks even worse than Galaxian, to be honest with you. So the game is going to be 99 cents, and it's only going to take up 75 megabytes of space. So if you want to, don't check it out. If you want to, throw him a dollar. Throw him a dollar. Come on. Alright, so the Hulu app for the Wii U is being removed from the Japanese eShop. That's right, after the American version was taken down earlier this year, now the Japanese Wii U eShop version is going to be taken down on the 24th of July, 2020, which will mark the end of the service on Nintendo's Wii U system on all fronts. But fortunately, if you want to, the Switch version is up and running since the start of the console back in 2017, and Amazon has also dropped the Wii U back in July this year, and the 3DS YouTube service was taken offline in Japan recently, so it seems like all the older consoles are losing their functionality of these different platforms. So watch it while you still can if you're in Japan. Watch it while you still can if you're
in Japan.
There we go. Got it. Don't need a retake of that. All right. The Nintendo Switch is getting a The Witcher 3 themed controller. It's a Pro controller. The pre-orders are now open. This controller looks pretty slick. It's a Pro controller with the Witcher symbols and a few scratch marks on it. The D-pad is red and the rest of the buttons are black. Looks pretty sick to me. And on the back, there's actually there's 2 or 3 different buttons on the back for different things as well. So The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is now available on the Nintendo Switch, not sponsored. And there's more Witcher goodness to come, because you'll be able to play on the official licensed controller for the Switch. The controller comes from accessory maker Power A, featuring motion controls and 2 mappable advanced gaming buttons on the bottom. Okay, so there's not 3, there's only 2. It also has wireless freedom using Bluetooth 5.0, motion controls and mappable advanced gaming buttons, ergonomic controller with standard button layout and Witcher 3 design, LEDs for player number, button mapping and low battery warning, includes 2 AA batteries for up to 30 hours of gameplay. It's officially licensed by Nintendo and CD Projekt Red, and there's a 2-year limited warranty if you visit powera.com/support. The controller looks sick. But I don't think I'll be picking it up because I already have a Pro controller, but it does look sick. So if you want to, you can pick this up. I'm not sure how much it's going to cost. I don't see... Oh, here it is, $50. It's going to be $50 on Power A's website. You can pre-order it now. Alright, so Star Wars Episode 1 Racer is coming later this week. That's right, Limited Run Games is at it again, and they're re-releasing Pod Racer, Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. This time, it's the Nintendo 64 Classic. It's getting a special treatment. If you don't recall, I already talked about this. The Limited Run Games put out 3 other games that got like a forever physical edition or whatever it's called. This one's going to be released on the 18th of October, so it actually already happened, I apologize, from the LRG website, and it's going to be about $90 in total. Star Wars Episode 1 Racer gets a limited collector's edition featuring a retro cart pin, commemorative coin, and a reversible poster, all in a beautiful rigid box that will fit in with your Star Wars collection. So the limited collector's edition includes Star Wars Episode 1 Racer cartridge playable on your retro console system in Anakin's Pod Racer Colors shell, which is blue font with gray background. Premium book-styled rigid box with silver foil stamping and certificate of authenticity individually numbered. There's going to be a game manual, 3 art cards, a reversible 18 by 24 poster, commemorative coin, retro cartridge enamel pin, all for $80. The game was originally released in 1999 and was of course based on that memorable scene from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. If you want to, I believe there is a digital release of this game on Steam, but it hasn't come to consoles yet, so we'll see what they do in the future. But hey, now this is what I call pod racing. I remember playing this game on a road trip with my family to Disney World. We live in Ohio, we drove all the way to Disney World, and my dad hooked up the Nintendo 64 and a TV, a little tiny TV, in the van, and we sat in the back and played Pod Racer and all those fun games. Pretty freaking cool, pretty cool. It definitely brings back some memories for me. Would I pay $90 for this edition of the game? No, but it is a cool concept. It is a cool concept. Just like Shadow of the Empire, memory lane, but not memory lane enough. Okay, so a free Call of Duty Modern Warfare dynamic PS4 theme is available now. It's called Going Dark launch theme. So if you head over to the PlayStation Store, you'll find the free Call of Duty Modern Warfare PS4 theme. It's not the most exciting theme, of course. It just looks like a bunch of background noise on your or it's like a background with a white bar that kind of looks like the Modern Warfare 3 bar thing you would see. And of course, it has some music playing and all that. It gives a little bit more slickness to the console, I guess. It's got some more sinister background music. I might be switching this out for my God of War theme. So yeah, go ahead and download this for free. Even if you don't like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, everyone loves having different themes to choose from. Am I right, gamers? Up top. Alright, so there's a rumor going around that the unannounced Batman game could be called Arkham Legacy. Sabby, if you don't recall, Sabby was the person who leaked a bunch of announcements for E3 2019 and then was ordered a cease and desist by Nintendo, has come out on Twitter and said, Arkham Legacy, question mark, eye emoji. She's been pretty good with her reveals, her leaks, so hopefully this might be a true thing. I don't know where they would go with Arkham Legacy, quote unquote, but it seems like some of the rumors are being able to play with the entire Batman family could be legit. There's also speculation surrounding the Court of Owls could be included in the game, which I talked about in the one episode a while back. It's supposed to debut at the Game Awards on the 12th of December, so we'll see if anything actually comes up or if it's just a pile of dog shit. Okay, Battlefield 5 takes to war to the Pacific in the new teaser trailer coming today, the 23rd of October. The official update is going to be available, I believe, this weekend. The same weekend as Modern Warfare. Oopsie! So, if you didn't know, the Pacific Front to the World War II was not included in the base game of Battlefield 5. And now we are finally going to step on the beaches of Okinawa and Midway and other islands and go on an adventure with our friends, the Americans, and our adversaries, the Japanese. New weapons, new vehicles, new locations, new fronts to the war. As I always joke, the complete World War II experience, except it didn't release with the American side of the war. Pretty freaking funny. I'm sure along with this update they'll include some American versus German maps, but I kind of doubt it, seeing as how their release schedule has been. They've released like one map every 3 months It's not even worth it anymore, guys. I used to like Battlefield 5. It did get on the top 10 games list the year it came out, but I wish I could take that back. As I said in the freaking top 10 video games list, you can go back and watch it, okay? I said if this game sucks later on, it will definitely be taken off the list, and we are at that point. I feel like I will not be playing Battlefield 5 again after Modern Warfare comes out. It's just a gut feeling. I've been playing Battlefield 5 for a long time. I've gotten everything unlocked in it. I did all the classes. I did the campaign mode. I did everything I could possibly do in this game. And their release schedule for these Battlefield games have been so bad the last few times they've released a game. Hardline, and Battlefield 1, and now Battlefield 5 have all suffered from long game syndrome, where they take so long to release stuff, and it's not really that much. One gun a week? Not even anymore? It's like one gun, a new skin, another gun. Next week, next month, one map, and then it's not worth it anymore. And I'm betting that all the weapons are going to be unlocked through their little system they have now, the weekly challenges. So it's going to take a while to get all the weapons, and it's going to take a while to forget about this game. Hopefully the M1 Garand will be the first gun to unlock. If it's not, I will riot. All right. Borderlands 3's Bloody Harvest event is coming onto the PS4 and other consoles and platforms later this week. That's right, on the 24th of October, the new Blood Harvest Borderlands 3 event will begin. There will be a new area, a new boss, new gun skins, new Echo device skins, and all that stuff. A new weapon trinket as well. Don't let me forget that. There'll be an all-new boss, which is, he kind of looks like a heavy soldier, but he shoots out skulls. Spooky. And there's also going to be, like, zombie enemies and stuff like that come out from graves. Looking pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to Bloody Harvest coming out soon. Alright, so MLB The Show 20 is swinging for the fences from March 17th. The cover and the pre-order is available now, and the release date and the Legacy Editions have all been revealed as well. So, MLB The Show 19 is actually currently free on PlayStation Plus right now, if you want to try it out before you look into The Show 20. Developer Sony San Diego has announced next year's installment in its flagship baseball franchise is going to be called The Show 20, of course. It's scheduled for the 17th of March. MLB The Show 20 will include a new class of legends as well as new ways to play with your friends. Taking current cover star Bryce Harper's place on the cover will be the Chicago Cubs' second baseman Javier El Mango Baez, who is predictably thrilled by the news. "I'll never forget how I felt when I saw myself in the game for the first time," he said. "It's so surreal. Still, it's one thing to see your virtual self, but it's completely next level to be on the cover of the game you've played and loved for so long. Let's go!" So, you can pre-order today on any place that you want to pre-order. Let's look at the different editions, because there's 4 different editions of this game. The Standard Edition, which comes with the Gold Choice Pack, one joint Gold Choice Pack key, I guess you would say. That's going to be $60. The MVP Edition is going to have early access, 4-day early access. It's also going to have a steel book, and it's going to come with double, hold on, let me zoom in on this. Zoom and enhance, please. Double dailies, 30 team avatars, 1 diamond variety pack, 2 golden choice packs, 10 the show packs, 1,000 stubs for MLB The Show 20. The digital deluxe edition is going to have pretty much all the same stuff, except the numbers are a little bit more. So it's going to come with the double dailies, 30 team avatars, 2 diamond variety pack, 5 double choice gold choice pack, 20 the show packs, and 25,000 stubs for the MLB The Show, which is going to be $100 compared to $80 for the MVP edition, which is really weird. You get early access as well with that, the 4-day early access as well. God, that's not worth it, guys. Don't get the digital deluxe edition. If you're going to get the deluxe edition, get the MVP edition. Let me be honest with you guys. That seems more worth it. Anyways, moving on. The Anniversary Edition is going to come with 4-day early access, the MVP Steelbook, MLB The Show New Era 950 hat, which looks pretty slick. It's going to come with 30 team avatars, 1 diamond variety pack, 2 gold choice packs, 20 the show packs, 25,000 stubs for MLB The Show 20, and 1 diamond dynasty MLB The Show New Era N50 hat digital. You'll be able to wear it in the game, and that's only available at GameStop. So sorry, Shinobi Nando, it ain't coming to you. Well, though, baseball's not really popular in the UK anyway, so whatever. So all editions are getting that gold choice pack, and also the PlayStation Store, you're going to get an exclusive Javi Baez flashback card for MLB The Show 19, 5,000 stubs for MLB The Show 20, and GameStop exclusive is going to have one Gear Up pack. 2 daily login rewards instead of 1 is what the double dailies is all about. Okay. So there you go. MLB The Show. Best edition on here is the MVP edition if you're looking to get something that has some extra stuff with it. The basic edition is fine as well. And the anniversary edition is pretty cool because it comes with a baseball cap if you're that big of a fan. Schwag. Schweden. Okay. So, Star Wars. We have some Star Wars news. Jedi Fallen Order has gone gold, announces Respawn. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has been finished, announced Respawn on their Twitter. So they said, "We are proud to announce that Jedi Fallen Order has gone gold. We can't wait for you to embark on this adventure across the galaxy with us on 11/15. May the Force be with you. May the Schwartz be with you." And of course, they put a picture of the team in their tweet as well. So there's been a lot of positive reviews for the previews that are going around. Fallen Order, of course, is arriving on the 15th of November 2019. So we'll see how the game is when it officially releases. It looks pretty cool, but we'll see, of course, how it goes. Okay, so more Star Wars news, as I said. The new Star Wars trailer for Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is out now. Adds some more questions, answers some questions. We'll see how that goes in the end. And also, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order has dismemberment for droids and animals, but you can't cut up humans. Very likely Disney said no. So, there's a lot of cool lightsaber combat in this game, it looks like. Cal is pretty deadly with the device. He's able to use it in flashy combos and use it as a flashlight. And if you're familiar with the past of Jedi games, Star Wars games, the lightsaber can always cut people up and everything else in between. But as a Reddit user said, with the fresh preview footage, we know that you will be able to cut clean through enemies like droids and carnivorous creatures, severing their limbs in some cases, cleaving them in half in others. The effect looks great in motion, with Cal leaving foes smoldering in pieces on the floor, but you won't be able to slice and dice humanoid opponents. It's weird. So 1 minute you'll be, making quick work of a droid. You'll cut him in half, and then a stormtrooper comes around and you won't cut him in half. You won't be able to hack off body parts. It all comes down from the game's age rating, which is T for teen, and both Disney and EA will want to maintain that rating. Throw some gratuitous dismemberment in there, and you're looking for a mature or 18-plus rating instead of T for teen, and Disney, of course, wants it to be as popular and far-reaching as possible. But let's not forget that Star Wars Jedi Outcast 2 you had dismemberment for humans, and that was only T. So what the heck? Is it just because the graphics are better? I don't know. You could still do cartoony limb dismemberment like they did in Jedi Outcast, just have the limb fall off and it be black underneath and have smoldering around the edges. It was cool. I love doing that stuff. You cut off hands, cut off legs, cut off arms, cut off heads. I don't think you could cut them in half, but still, it was really nice. I do understand where they're coming from, but a little disappointing for fans like me. Alright, so Call of Duty Modern Warfare is going to follow the trend with Battle Pass. So just like Fortnite, it's going to have monthly battle passes, like Battlefield 5 and Fortnite, I should say. Thanks to Nick for giving me this swiggity swag article. So Modern Warfare has announced its all new battle pass with both a free and premium stream of cosmetic content available. It's said to form a basis of the in-game economy and replace loot boxes entirely. Announced on the official game's blog, each and every battle pass will be tied to the introduction of a new season throughout the title's lifespan. You'll be able to unlock and equip cosmetic content, while all functional content that has an impact on game balance, such as base weapons and attachments, can be unlocked simply by playing the game, saying that there won't be more weapons to unlock during the game's lifecycle. The game's first battle pass won't be available till after launch, with Infinity Ward opting for players to unlock everything that's already available and then go ahead and get the new stuff. The new comes after the couple of days ago, the studio art director Joel Emslie said that the team is definitely not working on any kind of supply drop or loot box system, and it appears that these claims were true. Good on ya, mate! I like this a lot. Even though I didn't mind World War II's cosmetic loot boxes, this is actually a better idea for the series. I feel like stuff like this is more fair because you know what you're getting, and you're getting with your drops. You know you're getting this skin or this thing or that thing. I don't think that they're gonna keep their promise of no new weapons or anything like that coming out through these things. I think that people are gonna want more weapons once all is said and done. But so far, it looks like there's a good slew of weapons from the beta that I played, and we'll have to wait and see when the game officially releases this weekend. Excitement is in the air. All right, so speaking of big games, The Outer Worlds is going to have a hefty day one patch on the PS4, so make sure you got some space. So Obsidian's Fallout in Space RPG The Outer Worlds is fast approaching, which is going to come out this weekend on the 25th of October along with Modern Warfare. So yeah, the game studio has given fans a bit more information, including the word on a day one patch. According to the developer, The Outer Worlds will arrive with a pretty sizable day one update in tow. If you want the most up-to-date version of the title, you need to download the patch, which is about 18 gigabytes in size. If you pre-order the digital version, this will be just a part of the regular game download, but those with physical copies, like myself, will have to wait for the update. As for what the patch does, Obsidian simply states it contains tweaks and optimization fixes. Pretty big patch, but not the biggest one we've seen so far. Hoping that this is going to be better than Fallout 76 and Fallout in general. It looks pretty bomb-tastic, but it's another one of those wait and see type things. I'm looking forward to getting it this weekend. What about you guys? Hey, speaking of Fallout 76 gets paid private servers next week. The Wastelanders update has been delayed until 2020. So, as you know, Fallout 76 has gotten a lot of bad press and criticism, and it's still kind of bumbling along. And Bethesda, at least they're still supporting the game and all that. The title has been hit with a bit of a setback, though, as the Wastelanders update has been delayed into the early 2020s. The free content update, which adds loads of non-playable characters and quests to the game, was originally set to launch in fall, but Bethesda's recent silence on the matter certainly didn't inspire confidence in the 2019 release date. We're excited about how Wastelanders is coming together, but it's going to need a bit more time to be the best, most polished update it can be. So we're delaying its release until it's released to Q1 next year, which is from the official blog post. So yeah, Fallout private servers, though, are still coming this week. Bethesda confirmed that you're going to have to pay for them. The ability to play in your own private world with your friends has been a number one community requested feature, and we're thrilled it's finally coming. Our goal for players who purchase this service is to offer something for everyone, not just those who want a private server. It's currently unclear how the pricing for the private servers will work, but we're sure to hear more in the coming weeks. And of course, that's not the last, but there's one more thing. Bethesda wants to make the microtransaction store, fair and balanced. So maybe that'll be in the update as well with the Wastelanders update. So private servers is a nice thing for people. Of course, you have to pay for them just like in Battlefield 4 or something like that, and I guess that's fair. But I really think that they should give you a little bit of a discounted price since the game has gone through so much criticism and trash. And more delay news. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 will have to wait for a delay, or we'll have to wait following a delay. It's still coming in 2020, but it's going to be later in 2020. So Bloodlines 2, which is kind of sinking under the radar right now, was supposed to launch Q1 2020. Along with Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy, and The Last of Us 2. So developer Hardsuit Labs, they don't have to worry about that problem anymore. The studio has decided to delay the game. It's still going to launch next year, but stated in the team's latest blog post, it didn't want to repeat the same mistakes that were made in the original title's launch. Despite improving its processes and growing the studio with more and more staff throughout 2019, Andy Kipling and Brian Mitsoda both agreed that the upcoming Vampire Simulator needs more time in development. So there's not an official release date anymore. It's of course not coming in Q1 anymore, so probably more like Q2 or 3, and maybe it will be coming out on the PlayStation 5, but we'll just have to wait and Okay, people who like Xbox stuff, your Xbox Game Pass for consoles has another loaded month. So, starting October 23rd, Lonely Mountains Downhill will be available, and Secret Neighbor, which is a follow-up to Hello Neighbor. October 24th, Minute is going to be available, and also coming out the next day, October 25th, you'll be getting The Outer Worlds for free, technically for free, on the Xbox Game Pass for console and PC. Pretty awesome. Also coming out later in the month, October 29th, After Party, which was in the PlayStation State of Play, will be available to play for free. And LEGO Star Wars 3 will be free on October 31st. Now, November 7th comes around, and Subnautica, you'll be able to play that game, along with some new quests starting in November 1st. Play as some of the toughest and most daring Femmies in games. Earn any achievement in an upcoming Fearless Femmies collection to earn 100 rewards points. Whether you choose to explore the world as Lara Croft in Tomb Raider or live in fear in Alien Isolations, we've got games for you to play. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. Let me know what you guys think about the Game Pass for consoles for the rest of the month. You got some good ones in there. After Party looks pretty cool. Subnautica and Secret Neighbor have gotten good acclaim, and then also The Outer Worlds is pretty dang sweet. Never played LEGO Star Wars Episode 3 myself. I thought it was like a RTS type game, but it's actually based off of the TV series, I think. Whatever. Okay, dokay. That is going to do it for this episode of YemmyCast, a video game podcast. Thank you so much for coming to the premiere on Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are here for the premiere, thank you very much. If you're listening to the podcast on any other platform, thank you as well. I appreciate you nonetheless. Remember, there will probably be a episode this weekend with my friend Greedy Waffle talking about Call of Duty, and we'll of course be playing Modern Warfare before that, so we can talk a little bit about that as well. And that's gonna do it. Thank you all for listening to this episode. There will be a stream on Saturday, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be continuing our playthrough of The Walking Dead Final Season, Episode 3. We're getting close to the end. One more episode after this one. Pretty cool. I'm enjoying the game myself. I don't know about you guys. Okay, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. I am your host, Yemmy the Ferret, and this has been YemmyCast, a video game podcast.